Hello and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton Knave, where we're doing all this King Crimson. There it is. The beard may give away my recording methodologies. We're doing live in Toronto. We've gone to America. This is 2 discs because we've got the whole show. They kept the American shows. This features the Golden Walnut and Clueless and Slightly Slack improvisations, which are famous improvisations from The Great Deceiver. Although on The Great Deceiver there's only, I think it's 4 tracks. So here we have the whole show, so that's great. Right the way, including Schizoid Man. The end of the tour in Europe that we know of was April the 2nd. This is June the 24th, so I think they had a break in between. I think this is the start of the Road to Red. I haven't got the Road to Red, so I haven't checked that yet, whether this is the first show or not. Toronto sounds like an opening show and you would go down, but maybe I know nothing. This was one of the last King Crimson Collectors Clubs. Club 45, there's only 47. So in a sense it's not essential, and yet has these fantastic improvisations on there, so it's worth the price of admission just for the 2 improvisations. But you don't really need the rest of it, with one exception I think, because they've started opening with Larks Part 2. Larks Part 1 is gone. Now I don't think they play it again until 2014. So they open with Larks Part 2, and you know what? It's a really good opener. It's interesting. You wouldn't think, but it is. It's a great opener. Track 2 is Lament. As I said, you know, the 74 versions are all fantastic. Track 3 is Exiles, probably an average version. I think what we've heard of the European tour has better versions of Exiles. It's very difficult to tell, they're all very similar, but I think they're a bit more intense. It's interesting that they didn't improvise into it, they just went straight into it. Then track 4 is the Golden Walnut. Starts with noisy fast stuff, and they all let rip. All 4 of them let him rip, so that's great. It's only 6 months previous we go back, and this wouldn't have. I don't think this would have happened, and it certainly wouldn't have happened in '72. Not this heavy. However, what happens, of course, is we get the One More Red Nightmare theme, which we haven't heard for quite a few albums, but there it is. So that's cool. But then it fades and goes quiet, and there's like it's like Starless gone wrong, evil Starless intro, and it sort of builds, but then sort of fades out. That's the really good bit. I think that's fantastic. Just that bit is worth the album, really. Obviously an album of all these improvisations would have saved people a lot of money, but I obviously wanted them all, so I bought them all. Track 5 is The Night Watch. It's such a good song. It is such a good song, even when we're hearing so many versions of it. It's such a great song. Maybe I'm thinking that now because this is a particularly good version. Maybe, I don't really know. Track 6 is Fracture, as always. The thing about Fracture is that, certainly to the layman, all the performances would be the same, and only us fans can really tell the difference. And yet I've got nothing to say about that, it is just Fracture, never mind. Disc 2 now, we have another improvisation, Clueless and Slightly Slack, which was apparently Bill's description of someone in the audience. It starts with a good bit of cross, really nice. You know, and so with a lot of these, easily good enough to be on an album, easily. And then it starts going scary, and Cross does this theremin thing, this stuff. And then Bill does something different, he does a heavy dirge drumming, kind of stuff. You don't hear Bill doing that often, but it shows how they're trying to do something different every time. These are all different. That's, you know, and there is a generic sound they do, but they try to avoid it and try to do something different every time, and that's amazing. I think here, you know, the Indian album that Fripp proposed to Cross, that is sort of on Larks' tongues, is here, whatever that is, or maybe it's Chinese. Fantastic. I think that's a particularly good one. It's one of my favourites. Before we go on to the next track, actually, there is an unlisted Fripp announcement. Again, it's not been listed, it's just at the end of Clueless and Slightly Slack. This one isn't, I think, is a serious one. I don't think this is a proper announcement. This is, I think he's having to go at someone in the audience, maybe? He said, apparently asked someone, shall I be rude to them? They said, no. And he thought, oh God, I've got to be rude to them. And he said, sir, if you can't keep your mouth shut, you're an insensitive creep, or something to those effects. I'm possibly mishearing it, so, you know, it doesn't mean a lot. But it's possible basically there's someone in the audience being annoying, so that needs to be told. I may have misheard that completely. Track 9 of all the tracks, but it's actually disc 2 is Easy Money. It's not an amazing version, it's okay. Track 3 is Starless. I think Starless is getting better. And for the bit Fripp doesn't like playing, supposedly, Bill's very tight on this one, actually particularly tight on this one, so that's cool. Final track is 21st Century Schizoid Man, which we haven't heard actually for a few albums, because it's always been either missing or not performed. The previous band were better at this one. It's the only time the previous band were better, I think, but they were better at doing Schizoid Man. Just suited them better, partially because of the sax, but there you go. So yeah, another good one. See you next week, or a live album, an actual live album, USA. See you then.